all of you. Okay, let's begin start our today's history class. And last class we have just started first part of our history first chapter. Okay, now we are going to discuss the next subtitle or subtopic of this chapter. Okay, you can say the title of the topic is which dates. That means already we have discussing about the importance of the dates in history. Histories are synonymous with the date. Already we have got the idea from the first class. Okay, the which date, that means in history we choose only important dates and events. It is not possible to choose every date or every aspects or every events for historical learning. It is not possible. So we will use only important dates and events. We will consider only for the historical learning. So what is the criteria to consider? What is the criteria to consider the dates are important? Okay, especially historians are focusing on the two things. Historians are focusing on two things to consider dates are important. One was that events focus on changes in society. Such events should bring the changes in society. So historians are will consider. Okay, for example, the transformation of the human settlement from the earlier system to the some improvement level, in other words, from the caves to the good buildings. Similarly, the human beings transformation in their food habit, their settlement, the pattern of life. Okay, there are the use of their tools and weapons, their findings of the metals instead of the stone tools, etc. So such changes of the society, such events we will take as the historical events, or we will consider as this important dates. Then another one is that events begin to look new issues. That events should bring the new issues in the society. Okay, and through that issues also will bring some changes. For example, the different revolutions, French Revolution, Russian Revolution, etc. Then different wars, First World War, Second World War, Cold War, battles, freedom struggles, etc. So the many examples are there. Okay, in short, the events which bring social changes and new issues in the society, such activities only will consider by the process of our historical learning, or we will consider as only for the historical dates. Yeah. Okay, then take an example. When we studying about the British India, it is important to look the role of governor generals and viceroys. The India was one of the colony of the Britain. So in the British Indian history, the role or the administration of the governor generals and the viceroys are very important. How was their policies? What was the act they were implemented here? So it is very important to know about the ruling system as well as the administration policies of the different governor generals and the viceroys. Okay, you can see that Warren Hastings is the first governor general of British India. He became the first governor general of the British India in the year 1773. The first British governor general in India is Warren Hastings. He became the British governor general of India in the year 1773. And the last viceroy of the British India is the Lord Mountbatten. When our countries got independence, that time, the freedom time of our country is that time, the Lord Mountbatten is the viceroy of the Indian, British India. Okay, so you maybe think that or confused that on the first time it was used as the term Governor General, but later it was used as the Viceroy. Okay, it is just like that. That means up to 1857, from the beginning of the colonial government up to 1857, the revolt of 1857. That time the head of the British India is known as Governor General. From 1857 onwards up to 1947, they were called as Viceroys. The both are same status but different title. Okay, that is the only things. Okay, then how do we periodize? That means here we are going to discuss about the division or the periodization of Indian history by James Mill. Okay, you can see that James Mill, he was a Scottish economist as well as a political philosopher. He was from the Scotland. Okay, Scotland also the part of the UK. Okay, so he was a Scottish economist and political philosopher. He wrote a book, or he published a book. The title of that book is The History of British India. Here, History of British India was authored by the James Mill, and this was published in the year 1870, and it have 3 volumes. This was 3 volumes of okay. The James Mill book was published in the 3 volumes. Okay, when we are taking or when we are reading this book, what we will get idea? James Mill divided Indian history into 3 periods. Normally we know ancient period is there, medieval period is there, modern period. Okay, he took the concept of the ancient, medieval and modern, but he used another term for ancient, medieval and modern period. He considered the ancient period as Hindu period, then medieval period as Muslim period, modern period as the British period. Okay, that is the classification of Indian history by James Mill. He given the Hindu period, Hindu period for ancient time, and Muslim period for medieval time, and British period for the modern time. And why he is called it like that? He telling that, or according to him, in ancient period, the most of the Indian territory was ruled by the Hindu rulers and dynasties. The Hindu kings and dynasties were ruled in India, especially during the ancient period. That is why he called the ancient period as Hindu period. For example, Gupta Empire, Mauryan Empire, etc. Okay, and different other Chola dynasty, Pandya dynasty, etc. Different dynasties are ruled in the ancient period. It was due to the Hindu rulers are there. That is why it was called a Hindu period. And then it was called as the Muslim period. According to him, the medieval India was mainly ruled by the Muslim rulers. The Muslim dynasties and emperors were the rulers of the medieval India. So he was called medieval India as Muslim period. So in telling that, we justify that the medieval India was mainly ruled by Delhi Sultans, Mughal emperors, then Tipu Sultan, or the Mysore kingdom, then Hyderabad Nawab, Bengal Nawab, etc. So that is why he was called the medieval India's Muslim period. And he considered the British period for the modern India, because the modern India was ruled by the British colonial government. Okay, the rule of different governor generals as well as the viceroys were ruled in the British in the medieval period. That is why he called as the modern period as the British period. Okay, anyway, the Indian students are criticizing his method or his views of the James Mill. The Indian students are telling that it is not true to call the ancient India as Hindu period, because the other the kings such as Ashoka and different other rulers, they were belongs to the Buddhist religion, Jaina religion, etc. So it was not a fully Hindu period. And in the medieval period also, there is no full Muslim rulers. There is the Maratha Empire, then Vodayars of Karnataka or Ambi region, then Cholas of the medieval period, etc., and Papandyas of the medieval period, Rajaputs of the Rajaputana area. So they were telling there is no fully Muslim rulers in the medieval period. And in the modern period also, when the British were here are some local kingdoms are there. The both Hindus and Muslim rulers are ruling here. So it is absolutely wrong. And the periodical concept of the James Mill is absolutely wrong. Okay, it was ridiculed and criticized by the Indian historians. Okay, this is the things we want to discuss at today's class. Okay, further topic we will discuss on the next time. Now we can stop this class. Thank you for all. Good morning.